Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Sunday Sweat Club. I hope you are having a wonderful day, no matter what day of the week it is for you, if you are not practicing live. We are going to begin lying down on the mat. So come all the way down to your back. Okay. And then once you've found your back, take your feet nice and wide, palms face up, and yes, we are beginning in Shavasana because why not? It is a Sunday. That's what we deserve. And then if you notice any areas of your body that are failing to relax, right? You might be laying here, but your shoulders are tense or your legs are tense. I invite you to wiggle the legs, wiggle the shoulders, maybe even wiggle the fingers, and just try and relax down onto the mat a bit more so there's no points of tension. Yeah. And just lay here for a moment with this wonderful realization that you have nothing you need to do for the next hour except to be on your mat. So you've got nowhere to be, nothing to do. Their to-do list is evaporating. It's gone. And let's just begin with a full body scan. So we are going to check how the physical body is feeling from head to toe. Let's begin at the crown of the head. And work your way down to the sides of the head, the ear, the eyes, and the nose. Do you have any tension in your head or your face? And if you do, can you try to relax any of the tension? And let's move down to the neck, the throat, down to the shoulders or the trapezius muscles, those big muscles kind of between the neck and the shoulder. Can you relax those or notice any fatigue, any tightness? And remember, as we're noticing, we notice without judgment. So no matter how the body feels, no matter. That's just how the body feels today. Let's take it from the shoulders down to the elbows. From the elbows into the wrists and the hands and the fingers. And let's travel back up the arms and to over your heart center. So first the top of the heart and then the back of your body. So this really big space around your heart center, including your shoulder blades, your ribs. Just scanning the body, observing. And then move down to the abdomen, the stomach, the low back. And then the hips, pubic area, your glutes, the big muscles on the back of your body. Down to your thighs and your hamstrings, both front and back of the legs. Into the knees. Walking down the shins, down the calf, into the ankles, the feet, both bottom and top, and eventually into your toes. Inhale deeply. Exhale fully. Start to deepen the breath as you inhale. pull the air down into the abdomen and watch the belly rise up gently. And I say watch, but watch it in your mind's eye. Your eyes are still closed. And then as you exhale, the lungs will empty, the belly button will fall down to the spine. Take 5 of the deepest breaths you've taken all day. Maybe slightly constricting the back of your throat with Ujjayi breath. And if not, just remember equal inhales, equal exhales, as expansive as you can be. Keep going. If the mind wanders, remember you're expanding through the diaphragm. Inhale. Exhale. All right, your next breath in, maybe you will move with your eyes closed. Start to reawaken the body. Maybe you just kind of point the toes, flex through the fingers and the hands. And then you'll slowly roll over onto the stomach. So you can get there however you like. Like I said, you might decide how you want to journey with either the eyes closed or open. And then eventually, you'll come down to the mat and you'll take your arms out to the side in a T shape with your forehead down to the mat. So you're creating a big T with the body. We'll move on to a stretch on this left shoulder. So slowly, you can lift the head up and roll over onto that left side using your right hand to press into the ground to lift you up and over. And you can take this really small. So if this feels tight, you might just barely roll onto the left hip. If you feel like you have a bit more opening, you could fully roll onto the left hip and then kick your right foot up and behind your left leg. Option to have the head on a pillow, on the ground, or if it feels better, you could keep it lifted up. Ideally, I'd encourage you to try and lower it down to the ground. Maybe from here, you either keep the right hand on the ground, or you lift the right hand up and take a bind, wrapping it behind the low back. Just finding a stretch on the shoulder wherever you are, perhaps a stretch on the pectoral muscles, the muscles in the front of the chest. Take 3 slow breaths. Once more, inhale. Exhale. All right, now on your next breath in, I know we're in a super deep stretch. If you have your right hand behind your back, bring it to the ground in front of you, maybe fingertips or palm to the ground. And no matter what position you're in, gently push your left hand down into the ground. And you might find you can't engage your muscles in this position at all, and that's fine. It's normal. We're in such a deep stretch that the deeper we get into the stretch, the less strength we have. So essentially what I'm asking you to do is just mind-body connection. Can you push that left hand into the ground as much as possible in a safe range, right? And so it might be a lot, it might be a little, but just forging those new memory pathways, those new intentions into this arm for 3. Maybe push down a little harder, 2. Perfect. And 1. You can roll back onto your stomach and then take your right arm out to a T again and just rest with your forehead on the mat and feel the sensation in the left arm, left shoulder versus the right arm and right shoulder. Just observe. Wonderful. When you've observed and you're like, okay, yeah, I see it, you can roll over onto that right shoulder. So same thing. You might just roll a little bit onto the shoulder, or you could take it deeper, rolling fully onto your right side. Eventually, and you'll have a better view with me at this angle, if you needed to look, you might kick the left foot up and behind the right leg. Head can be up or on the ground. Left fingertips might be to the ground in front of you, or you could lift the left hand up, bend to the elbow, and bind the arm behind the back. So This incremental kind of growth and depth into the stretch. You might find yourself getting deeper a little bit already. Only taking it at a depth that feels comfortable, feels good in the body. Take 3 more breaths. Can you relax? We're not fighting this, we're surrendering in for 2. And 1. Wonderful. Now from here, gently start to push that right hand down into the ground. And just that reminder, you might not have a lot to push because we're in such a deep stretch. Like I can, even myself, barely start to engage. I've got a little bit of force, but it definitely wouldn't knock over a fly with how much force I've got. So try to find that push, gentle push. The deeper the stretch you're in, the harder it's going to be to find strength, and that's okay. That's normal for 3, 2, good. 1. You can release, roll back to center, take your arms to a T, forehead to the mat, and just observe one more time now that we've got matching sides, matching arms. Take a breath in. And a breath out. Okay, next breath in, lift your head up, and you can slide your arms forward. We're going to move towards Sphinx pose, but you might only want to take a half Sphinx pose here. So we're combining Sphinx with a hip stretch. So you could either be here, 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 or maybe up here in full Sphinx. Zip your right knee out to the side and find a 90-degree bend. Right knee in line with right ankle, right knee in line with right hip. Yeah, and so then once you've got this bend of the leg, try to sink the right hip down towards the ground. Now, as I said, if you feel a lot of compression in the low back, if you're like, ooh, Madison, this doesn't feel great, you can lower all the way down here. You might not be up very high, that's fine. We're working more on the hip than anything. From here, just as per usual, we have a few different options. So option 1 is you are going to hold this for 5 breaths. Close your eyes and just breathe. Option 2, and you may want padding under the knee if you feel any tenderness, is you are going to take internal rotation in that thigh and lift the foot up to the ceiling as much as you can, rolling thigh in, and then you'll lower back down. Take that again. Inhale, you'll up, internal rotation. Remember, you have the option to just hold here and stretch. You don't have to be moving. Exhale down. I just like to give all the options. Again, inhaling up. Exhale down. Once more. Inhale up, lift, and we'll hold here. Find as much internal rotation as you can. Push the right hip down for 3, 2, and 1. Release, foot comes down. Bring the head down to the mat. Take the head on top of the hands, actually. Let's just rest, and then you can slowly zip that right leg back to center. Extend both legs long and just observe one side versus the other. Today in class, you are the observer. You're a witness to your body and your practice. Without judgment, without attachment. Breath in. Breath out. All right, inhale, lift the head back up and come to the same version you did on the other side. So you should kind of know by now where you want to take your low back, or if Sphinx feels good, or half, or very baby Sphinx. Now slide left knee out to the side and find that bend one more time. So left knee in line with hip, and I'll spin around to make it visible. There we go. Left knee in line with hip. And ankle. Flex through that foot. And then if you are holding the stretch, just completely relax. So even though the foot is flexed now, you can just relax, left hip down to the ground. Stay here, and you will take 5 really luxurious breaths, allowing the hip to stretch and open. If you would like to move, and you took movement with me on the other side, as you inhale, you'll internally rotate the thigh, lifting the foot up towards the ceiling, and we're just trying to see how deep we can get in internal rotation. Exhale, lower down. Again, inhale, lift up. Exhale, lower down. Inhale, lift, getting a little deeper every time. Exhale, lower. And now here's the last time. Inhale, lift, rotate, rotate, rotate for 3. Deepen it for 2. Good. And 1. Lower the foot down. If your head is up, lower the head down, bringing it on top of the hands. Take the elbows wide, and then slowly zip left leg back in. Extend the legs long, tops of the feet to the mat, and just breathe in. And breathe out. All right, inhale, lift your head up. Now we'll slide the hands back into push-up position. Roll your shoulders back. Option 1, push up to plank if you're feeling fiery. I'm not there yet. I'm going to push up to tabletop. So shoulders back and then push up onto your knees. And we'll come to tabletop pose. We'll make our way through some cat and cow. So I've been offering 2 right away in cat and cow. If you want to move freely, you don't have to do a stagnant cat and cow. You can kind of be moving spine side to side. Otherwise, you can simply drop your belly, roll your shoulders back, gaze forward. And exhale, tuck and round. So any freedom in the body that you need, any movement you need, you are welcome to continue as we move through the cat and cow variety. But this goes through the rest of class too. If you find that we're doing something and you're like, oh, you know what, that would feel really good, you are welcome to do whatever would feel really good. Take 2 more rounds, evening out your work on the other side if you're doing anything other than standard cat and cow. Good, and then come back to center. Walk your hands 1 handprint forward, curl your toes under, push up and back, downward facing dog. And let's bend our knees really dramatically in downward facing dog first. So take a nice big bend. And then look towards your pelvis and push your thighs and your chest towards one another. So you're trying to almost lay your chest on top of your thighs. Then from there, maintaining that shape of the chest and the upper body, start to sink the heels down any amount. Your legs will travel away from the chest, that's fine. But this is kind of the shape we want in the upper spine. Tilting the pelvis up towards the sky for 3, 2. Good, 1, breath in. And exhale, walk your hands back towards your feet. So we're traveling to the back of the mat, and then find yourself in a forward fold, Uttanasana at the back of the mat. Once you're there, take ragdoll, feet hip width distance apart, and sway side to side. All right, release the hands down to the mat. Toe heel the feet together, so toes touch, sliver space between the heels if that's comfortable, and then inhale, lift up halfway. So either 2 fingers to the mat, hands to shins, or even hands to thighs if you're up here. Exhale, fold down. I'm going to take 3. Inhale, lift up, lifting with the low back. Exhale, fold. Once more, inhale, halfway lift. And then exhale, fold, separate your feet nice and wide, turn your toes out, your heels in, and sit your butt back into a yogi squat. Hands can come to heart center. If this is very hard for you and you're up a lot higher, I'm gonna make us all meet you. So those of you who are nice and relaxed, I know it's fun down here, but instead we're going to lift the butt up slightly. So just take it up a couple inches so it's hovering and so you're working. Then push your knees into your elbows and your elbows into your knees. Start to fire up through the legs. Really push them in towards one another. Push, push, push hard. 3, push a little harder. You can do it. 2, squeeze in. 1, breath in. Whew. Exhale, plant the hands, fold forward, toe heel the feet back in towards one another. Big toes touch, sliver space between the heels. Fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. And now this time you can inhale, sit your butt back, take your arms nice and wide, reach through chair pose, come all the way to standing, reach up, look up. Exhale, hands to heart center. Hands by your sides, Tadasana, breath in. Breath out. Inhale, sweep up, look up. Exhale, fold, Uttanasana. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, plant your hands and walk one handprint at a time slowly into your plank pose. You can keep your feet together or separate them if that feels more comfortable. I don't really care which. Knees up or knees down. We're going to lower very slowly to the belly. Elbows move back for 3, 2, and 1. Down to the belly. Hands come out to the sides. Fingertips to the mat. So just fingertips, or to the ground, outside the mat, I should say. Inhale, lift up, leading with shoulder blades and then head. Exhale, lower down, creating this wave. You got 2 more. Inhale, lift up. First shoulder blades, then head. Exhale, lower chest, then head. Last time, shoulder blades lift. Head lifts. And come on now. Hands come by your sides. Curl your toes under. Option 1, tabletop. Option 2, lift the thighs up first, shoulders back, and then push up into plank. Exhale back, we all meet in downward facing dog. Inhale, remember that shape of the upper body. Spread your fingers wide. Exhale. Inhale, look forward. Bend in your knees. Glue your hands down to the mat and walk as far as you can with the hands glued to the mat. Knees can be nice and bent, toe by toe print, until eventually you fold forward, and then at some point you might have to lift your hands, and that's fine. You can lift the hands and then fold forward. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, sit back, chair pose, hands high. Exhale, come to standing, hands by your side, Tadasana. Great, we're going to keep going. Inhale, sweep up, look up. Exhale, fold, Uttanasana. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, plant your hands, shift your weight over into your right leg, step your left foot back. So big step of the left foot, and then wiggle your right foot out to the side. So wiggle, wiggle, wiggle until your right foot is on the outside of your right hand. So nice wide stance. And then let's take the back knee down. You have the option to keep the back knee up if you really want some fire here, but I am going to have you focus more on this right leg instead of your left leg. So push your right knee in towards your tricep, drawing it into the midline. Make that connection and then wiggle the foot in a little bit closer. So from here, you could either stay, finding the stretch on the hip flexors, finding the stretch on the back leg, or try to lift that foot up onto the toe only. So it's just your toe, push the knee into the tricep. Hold here. 3. Good. 2. Lifting and 1, release, heel can come down. Option to stay here if you're enjoying the stretch, or flex through your right foot, roll onto the outer edge of that right foot and start to twist open to that side. You could bring the hand on top of the knee or keep the hand down, but essentially we're thinking external rotation in this thigh. If it feels comfortable, you might twist open so much that you start to settle down towards that left hip on the ground, really opening but not allowing the right foot to move too much. Really gentle pressure. Maybe you can push the hand into the knee and the knee slightly into the hand when you're at your end range for 3. Good. 2. Perfect. 1, come back to center. Curl your back toe under, lift your back knee up, push into your hands, look forward, and then 1 big step, step your left foot to the outside of your left hand, sit your butt back, yogi squat. Now, as much as those of us who like to chill, we are going to lift the butt up off the ground. Get up, give yourself a little height, hands to heart center. Push knees into the elbows, elbows into knees. Really squeeze into the midline. 3. Push them in. 2. Good. 1. Reach the hands up and very slowly come to standing. Don't beat me. 3. 2. And 1. Feet together, hands by your side, Tadasana. Breath in. Breath out. Inhale, sweep up, look up. Exhale, fold, Uttanasana. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, shift your weight over into your left leg. 1 big step, right foot comes back, and then you wiggle your left foot to the outside of the left hand. So find a big wiggle. Back knee can come down, or if you're creating fire, back knee might come up. Finding a stretch on the right hip flexor. So you could stay here, hang out, have the time of your life, or you can lift this heel up off the mat as you push knee into shoulder slash tricep, tricep into shoulder and knee. So these two are crammed in towards one another, a connection in the midline. Like I said, if you have the back knee up, you're just doing this exact same thing with the back knee lifted. So you choose your adventure. We're holding for a bit longer. 3, 2, perfect. 1, release the heel down if it's up. Curl your back toe under, lift the back knee up. Look forward, bend into your back knee, and maybe you take one step or a few steps forward into yogi squat, toes out, heels in, sit your butt back. Of course, we're going to do this again. So lift yourself up out of the bottom, push elbows into knees, knees into elbows. Strong hips, breath in, breath out, push. Again, breath in. Good, breath out. Okay, reach your hands high, come to standing over a slow count. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Perfect. Feet together, hands by your sides, Tadasana. Close your eyes. Simply observe your body. Try not to move too much. Maybe you can feel your heart. Inhale. Exhale. All right, inhale, sweep up, look up. Exhale, fold, Uttanasana. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, plant your hands, step back to either plank or tabletop, and we lower down to the ground. 3, 2, to your belly, and 1. Hands come out to the sides, fingertips only. Inhale, lift up, shoulder blades. Then head, just 1 round this time, our cobra variation. And exhale, lower down to the mat. Slide your hands in towards push-up position. Curl your toes under, option 1, tabletop. Option 2, knees lift, thighs lift up, plank. Exhale back, downward facing dog. Breath in. Breath out. Inhale, look forward. Lift your heels up. Keep the palms connected. Walk, step, or hop to the top of the mat and fold into Uttanasana. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, sit back, chair pose, hands high. Exhale, come to standing, hands by your sides, Tadasana, breath in. Breath out. All right, let's take the hands to heart center, either in prayer or maybe you create a fist, squeezing the fist towards one another. Shift your weight over into your right leg. Draw your left knee up to a 90-degree bend. So I just want you to find a little balance here. Today's class will not be a lot about legs or balancing, but we do need to find balance as often as we can. So feel those little muscles in your ankle work. Find your focus, take a breath in. And then as you exhale, swing that foot back. Take 1 giant step back into your crescent pose. So foot will step down. Inhale, hands high, crescent. Good, graceful movement. Inhale. Exhale, sink down. Again, inhale. Exhale. Once more, take a breath in. Exhale, hands come back to heart center. Lean forward. Maybe you can take 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 steps. Draw the left knee back up into the chest. Good. Exhale, release. Feet together, hands by your sides, Tadasana. Breath in. Breath out. Shift your weight over into your left leg. Right knee comes up, 90-degree bend, hands to heart center. Find your balance. Remember, we just have a little bit of a hold, so it's okay if you fall in and out. First time balancing, warming up the ankle muscles. Take 1 more breath in. And then slowly, with control, how slow can you go? Sweep that leg back and transition towards crescent. But I really want you to take your time. We're not in a rush. 1 big step until your back foot lands. And then inhale your hands high, crescent pose. Sink down and we hold for 3 breaths. Inhale. Pull your left hip back, push your right hip forward, exhale. Again, inhale. Exhale. Once more, breath in. Exhale. Okay, hands come to heart center, lean forward, get light in your back foot. Maybe one big step, draw the right knee up into the chest, find your balance, laugh if you fall, 3. Good, control, nice work, 2. 1, feet together, hands by your sides, Tadasana, breath in. Breath out. Simply observing. Inhale, sweep up, look up. Exhale, fold, Uttanasana. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, plant your hands, step back to plank or tabletop. We move down slow, elbows. Actually, I take that back. Everybody move to your knees. I changed my mind. I remembered something I want to do. So we are going to lower down, not all the way, but halfway. But before you do that, I would like to focus on form. So sometimes in yoga, I just want you to look at me and I'm going to do a bad demo. So sometimes in yoga, you'll see we'll come down towards the ground and our shoulders will roll forward. And we'll be like, oh, we're doing chaturanga. But instead of shoulders forward, I want your shoulders back. Do you see the difference here? Not here, here. So the goal will be to go towards halfway-ish, which looks a little bit more like this. This is in my head halfway, right? Shoulders back, back, back. So you can give it a go. And you might not get all the way to halfway. You might only get like a quarter of the way. That's fine. If your shoulders are back and you're quarter of the way, that's all that matters. Hold there, 3, 2, and push up, 1. Good. Push back, child's pose, feet together, knees wide. Forehead comes down to the mat. Take 3 slow breaths. And then inhale, pull yourself back up once again. We're going to do that one more time. So for this, your wrist should be a little bit in front of the arm rather than under the arm. So just walk them a tiny bit forward. And then what happens is from here, you'll shift the chest forward and then the hips will be a little bit closer. So starting with hands forward, shift forward, and then lower down part of the way, shoulders back. Squeeze your shoulder blades together and push up. Good. Let's do that one more time. Lower down part of the way, any amount, and push up. Great. Now, we're going to come to a seat on our butt. Maybe you can sit your butt back on your heels and then find a way to transition to a seat on your butt without using your hands. There are many different ways. You can pick a way that's creative to you until eventually you find yourself in a seat with your feet extended out in front of you. Now, from here, let's all lounge on the beach, just for a little bit. Lounge, you can take your fingertips pointed behind, be like, yeah, this yoga class is great. I can just chill. I don't have to do anything. Correct. You don't have to do anything for a second. Now, leaning is option 1. You might lean here. We are going to lift the left leg up. If you're like, yeah, I can do that, then you are going to not lean, which is what I'm going to do. So you might be from here to here to here. Eventually, you might have hands down on the ground, and then we'll lift the left leg up. Perfect. Take a bend into the left knee and pull it in towards the chest. You're hovering. You're either here or here. Find that balance and then bring the foot down to the ground. Great. Now take your left hand and bring that to the inside of the left knee. So if you notice, I've got my knee on the outside of my tricep. My hand is reaching forward. Place your right hand on the ground over to your right side and just lean to the right side a little bit. At the same time, push your tricep into your knee into tricep. Make a fist with this front hand. So just push, 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 push. Maybe you lift the foot up. Option if you're leaning on that right hand to lift the opposite hand forward and hold here. So basically you're like in a happy baby. Half, right? Half happy baby. Pushing knee into the tricep. Hold and squeeze for 3. Don't grab your foot. I know it might be tempting, but that's not what we're working on today. 2. Perfect. 1. Slowly release. Extend the leg. And foot to ground. Awesome. Breath in. Breath out. Okay, so we took some time getting here. So again, reminder that you can be leaning back and maybe you start and you lift the foot. You see if you can get it really high. Then you're like, oh, I need to lean forward. Once your foot is lifted and you've found your height, squeeze and then draw the knee up into the chest. Knee to chest, knee to chest, knee to chest. Place the foot down onto the ground. Reach your right hand high. And then take your right hand to the inside of your right knee. So your tricep connects to this knee. Take the left hand to the ground by your side. So first, create a fist in your right hand. Push your knee into your tricep and your tricep into your knee. Reminder to flex through this left foot. If our whole body's engaged, it helps. Option is stay here, pushing, or lift that foot up off the ground. Wiggle and hold. If that works, you might take both hands extending. But remember, no matter what you do, you are pushing that knee into your tricep to save your life. Pushing so hard for 3, 2, perfect. 1, extend the leg long, hover, and release. Both feet to the ground, and then let's take a forward fold. Just slide the hands forward. Forehead comes towards the shins. Let the back of the neck completely relax. Let your jaw relax. Let the space between your eyebrows chill out. And take 4 very slow breaths. Once you've taken 4 breaths, and you should maybe be kind of close, you'll lift yourself back up. Maybe use the hands to walk you up. And then bring your hands by your sides one more time. So we are going to, we're going to give it a go. We're going to just see what happens. Lean back. You're on the beach. Lean, lean, lean. Draw one knee towards your chest. Draw the other knee towards your chest. Great. Option 1 is to stay here, but widen the knees out to the side. So widen them. This is going to look hilarious. It's fine. We don't care how it looks. We care how it feels. We're observing. Option 1 is you'll stay here. Option 2, you reach both of the hands to the inside of the feet. Push knees into triceps, triceps into knees as you balance. Now for bonus points, slight bonus points, can you think about internally rotating your thighs? So that means your thighs are rolling in, but you don't let your feet separate. So maybe you can bring your toes together. Maybe. Hands extend, toes together. Maybe internally rotate, rolling thighs into the body. So it's like you're trying to squeeze the thighs in, but you're actually rolling the thighs in. 3, 2, good. 1, feet come down, extend the legs long, bounce the legs out. We're going to try that one more time. And just in case the concept was confusing because I'm using internal rotation, I want to show you what I mean. So like I said, your toes will try to connect. If you can't bring your toes together, that's fine. Just don't let them move. Internal rotation means the thigh rolls inward. Inward this way, right? Thigh rolls in, foot will go in the opposite direction. So you'll try to keep that shape as we sit here. So once more, chest comes forward, reach the hands forward. This time, just draw one knee up towards the tricep, draw the other knee up. Option to have the hands on the ground behind you. Now, take your toes towards one another, any amount, and then internal rotation, squeezing the knees into the tricep. You're thinking about rolling the thighs in while you keep the toes together and don't let them go out. Good. 3, basically it's like a crazy engagement. 2, tug of war with our body, and 1, oh, awesome work. Release, and let's actually take feet hip-width distance apart, and some nice little windshield wipers from side to side, just to relax through the hips. Good. Okay, come back to center. Extend your legs long. You are going to make your way to downward facing dog, but you're going to try to do it without using your hands for as long as possible. So there are many ways to get there. Eventually you'll make your way there. I'm going to try a different way. That's strange, maybe. Maybe from here. Maybe that's a normal way. Try something different. I'm watching. It looks kind of weird. Yep, good job. Nice. Perfect. Curl your toes under, push up and back, downward facing dog. All right, spread your hands wide, sink your heels down. Breath in. Breath out. Walk your feet a little bit closer together, just slightly, and then inhale your right leg high. Exhale, take your right knee to your right tricep, and then step the foot to the outside of your hand, low lunge. From here, open and twist to the right side. So push into your left hand, open to the right. Good. Exhale, lower the right hand back down. Take the knee towards the tricep. Push into the hands. Option 1, just slide the foot up and back. Option 2, try to lift the foot up first, connecting knee to tricep, and then push up and back, downward facing dog. Breath in. Breath out. We'll do the same thing on the other side. Nice and easy, nothing crazy. Inhale, left leg high. Exhale, left knee to left tricep. Hold, take a breath in. And then step the foot to the outside of the hand, low lunge. Option to take the back knee down. Switch weight into the right hand. Inhale, twist, open to the left. And just hold, exhale. Again, inhale. Exhale, hand comes down. Connect knee to tricep. Option to try to lift the foot first as you hold. Internal rotation, pro tip. Can you roll the thigh in, up, and back? Downward facing dog. Inhale, come forward, either plank or tabletop. Shoulder blades back, lower down halfway. Oh, and then challenge yourself, push back up. Good, downward facing dog. Inhale, lift the heels high, bend in the knees, walk, step, or hop to the top of the mat. Fold forward, Uttanasana. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, sit your butt back, chair pose, hands high. Good, exhale, come to standing, hands by your sides, Tadasana. Close your eyes, breath in. Breath out. Again, inhale. Exhale. Okay, switch your weight over into your right leg. Bring your hands to heart center. And take your left knee up to a 90-degree bend. You've been here before, but instead, let's widen the knee out to the side. So open the knee, but keep the hips pointing forward. Good. You might stay here, or maybe you try to challenge yourself and remember that falling is fun and it's how we grow by trying to bring your knee towards your elbow. Maybe bring that knee up towards the tricep and pointing the toe. Remember, if you fall, come back in. We're going to hold for 3, 2, good. 1, transition out slowly. Drop the knee if it's up. And then bring the knee back into center. Feet together, hands by your sides, Tadasana. Breath in. Breath out. Okay, weight goes into your left leg. Hands come back to heart center. Bring the knee up, right side, 90-degree bend. Take your time, move slowly. Once you've got your balance, widen the knee out to the side. Option to stay here, focusing on both hips pointing forward, or try to bring the knee up towards the elbow. If that works, maybe you can bring the knee up towards the tricep and point the toe. Holding for 3. Remember, when you fall, just come back in. For 2. And 1. Slowly release the knee, but find that 90-degree bend. Come to center. Good. Release. Feet together, hands by your sides. Tadasana. Close your eyes. Take 3 breaths. Okay, blink your eyes back open. Now, bring your hands back to heart center. Switch your weight over into your right leg. Left knee comes up, 90-degree bend. You're a pro at this point. And then widen the knee out to the side. Okay, now listen carefully. No matter what you're doing, try to lift the knee as high as you can. Maybe towards the elbow, maybe towards the tricep, maybe just a tiny bit. Just try and lift with the knee wide, and then bend into the knee and come to tree pose. Maybe you can use just the strength of your leg to plant your foot either on your calf or your thigh. If that's not accessible, you're welcome to take toe to the ground, heel to ankle, together this way. Ideally, why I'm making you do this is because I like you to try to find that lift just with the strength of the leg, right? So find your tree option to grow your branches. And maybe if you're feeling like a bit windy today, you could also option to wave your branches side to side and see how that challenges you. The ultimate challenge is to wave the branches and looking up at the ceiling. or the sky. If you have the sky, that's really hard because there's nothing to look at. For 3, your choice, whatever you do. 2, good. 1, hands come back to heart center. Transition out the same way you went in. So remember, lift that knee up. Good. Bring it back into the middle. Feet together, hands by your sides. Release, Tadasana. 3 breaths, eyes closed. Observing one side versus the other side. Switch your weight over into your left leg. Hands come to heart center. Draw your right knee up, 90-degree bend. So now you kind of know where we're going. I tricked you into it the first time. Now you're aware. Widen the knee out to the side. Good. And then you're trying to get that knee up as high as you can. So the higher you get the knee, the more leverage you have to bend into the knee, point the toe, and then try to bring the foot to either the inside of the thigh or the ankle. If you have the foot on top of your knee, you might hear some teachers say, don't put the foot on the knee. But as long as you're pushing your knee back into your foot, these two are contracted. The muscles in your leg are contracting and working. There's no danger of your knee popping out because your knee's engaged, right? Our legs are engaged and strong here. From here, you might try to grow your branches. Option to reach those hands up. And from there, you're also option to wave the branches. A reminder, you can just not. If you don't want to, you don't have to. Added challenge, if you look up and wave the branches, wave the hips. It's a windy day where your tree is perhaps. Hold for 3, whatever you've chosen. 2. And 1, if you came out, come back out with us by drawing the knee up and to the right, lift. And then bring the knee back into the midline. Feet together, hands by your sides, Tadasana, close your eyes, 3 breaths. Again, observe. Just observe your body, observe your breath. Inhale. Exhale. Okay, inhale, sweep up, look up. Exhale, fold, Uttanasana. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, plant your hands, step back to either plank or a tabletop, and this time we'll lower all the way to the ground, elbows move back, 3, shoulders back, 2, and 1 to your belly, hands come out to the sides, inhale, lift up, baby cobra from shoulders, or high cobra, I should say, to head. Exhale, lower down. Hands slide by your sides. Curl your toes under. Option 1, push up to plank. Option 2, tabletop. And then lower your knees down and come to a seat on your heels. And take a look at me. So we are going to move into our final peak pose of class. And then we're going to lay down and just enjoy ourselves. If you have a pillow around you, it might be helpful in this case. I call it the pillow of fear because it makes us fear less when we put it in front of our face. So today we're working on crow pose. If you immediately hear crow pose and you're always like, oh, that's fine. Remember, we build up to maybe one day we never do the posture, but the goal is to just find the strength and build the body in the shape that we're working on. So we've done a lot of work on internal rotation today in the thighs. So the first step will be to come to your yogi squat. Heels up off the ground though, so you can kind of lift the heels up. It'll give you a little bit more space. Palms will come down to the ground. Now, in order to build, you might have blocks at home. You could take blocks under your feet to lift your feet up a little higher to give you a little bit more leverage. That can help. What we'll do is knees come to the outside of the arms. Now, you may have also heard in class that you can put your knees on the back of your arms for balance. This is how I was first taught crow pose. But for me, I have some muscle on the back of my arm. And anytime I balance the knees, it almost slides to the side and it makes me feel like I'm going to fall. So if this is your traditional crow, you're welcome to take it that way. But today I would like to try to help you build a version that's more stable. And so for more stability, bringing the knees to the outside of the arms, hugging them in, and then you will think, remember, internal rotation. It'll all come together in the very end. So what you'll do is hug those knees in, lean forward. Now, what we say in crow is right when you start to get scared is when you're finding the correct balance. So eventually you'll start to lean forward, bringing one foot up. And if you take a look at my arms here, I'm working on getting my weight towards 90 degrees. I'm not all the way there, but that's okay. Then you'll come back down. You can do the other side. One foot up, and then come back down. Eventually, you might really work those knees up under the arms. Lean forward, take one foot up, the other foot up, and then bring toes together. Now from here is when the internal rotation really comes in handy. So think internal rotation, squeeze, feet together, whoop, and then eventually you'll find your balance. And notice the closer my face is to the ground, closer my feet is to the butt, the higher I'm able to lift and hold. If you've got a pillow, for me this pillow is too high, I would have crashed my face into it. Pillow under your face will help you feel a little bit more secure. So if you haven't already, please start. I will walk you through just the beginning lifts. So where we start to play. So find yourself deep, hands come down towards the ground. You might be up here, that's fine. Palms come down to the mat. Now hug your left knee in towards your arm, your right knee in towards your arm. Maybe you can shift your weight over into your right foot and just lift your left foot up. Good, and then you'll come back down. You can try the other side. Right foot up, weight in your left foot. And then you'll come back down. Perfect. So option to just keep trying that a few more times, or maybe after you've tried one and the other, you've got your pillow in front of your face, you're ready to squeeze knees up and in, lift, try to bring the toes together, push into the hands, and then internal rotation in the legs and thighs as you lift. If you're holding crow, try to hold for 3 to 4 breaths. Remember to laugh when you fall, and when you've had enough, you are welcome to come to child's pose and just wait. I'm not going to push you there yet, so if you're still playing, you can play for a little bit longer. Only when you're ready and you are ready to be done with your crow can you make your way down. Take about another 30 more seconds, so no rush. Good work, everyone. Let's push back into child's pose. If you're not there already, forehead to the mat. Relax the body, wiggle the hips side to side. And then inhale, you'll lift yourself up off of your child's pose. And you can just lean over onto one side, come down to your butt, and flip all the way over onto your back, fully reclined. From here, let's move into a twist. You can either take one knee into the chest or both knees and twist over to the right side. So if you're twisting to the right, that means that your left knee will be up into the chest. If you're just doing one leg, you could even crisscross legs if that felt good. Something that feels nourishing in the body and also allows for you to surrender. So just listen to your body as you move. And then option to take the gaze over to the opposite side. What can you observe as we slow down? Next breath in will bring you back up to center. Take your time. And then even out the hips, maybe with the feet on the ground. Again, observe at center. Can you feel the difference between having done one side and not the other? Maybe, maybe not. And then when you're ready, transition over onto the opposite side. Your right knee would come into your chest if you're twisting to the left, and then gaze might go over to the right. A reminder that we're trying to really keep the shoulders connected to the ground more than finding the deepest twist known to humankind. Let your eyes shut and just observe the body once more. Good. When you feel like both sides are even, you can transition back through center and make your way into either a happy baby, which should be nice and familiar, but perhaps, since we've been doing crows, or you could also take your feet together and grab for your ankles and kind of drop into a reclined butterfly pose. Also an option to wrap the hands around the feet into a cobbler's pose, but if that's not accessible, you could just take the hands to the shins or towards the ankles and then push the knees down while you hold the feet up and in. So this should help your spine lengthen a little bit. Let your neck be nice and long on the mat. Good, and then come back to center, release the hands come down by your sides. And just to take a brief finish of spinal extension, inhale, lift the hands up, or the hips up, I should say, sorry, into a baby bridge, so nothing too high, just a little lift of the hips. And then we're going to move to Shavasana from here, which means this will be an intentional lying down of our spine. So take it one vertebra at a time. As you slowly walk the spine down the mat, how mindful can you be as you move down to the ground, little by little, and then eventually once the hips release, eyes are closed, slide one leg long, then slide the other leg long, and then just flip the palms face up, roll the shoulders back. Maybe you slide the hands out slightly as well to take up a little bit more space. Let your eyes be closed. And once more, observe the body before we move into Shavasana. Feel anything that you're feeling in your physical body, any sensations, warmth, tenderness, relaxation, and just embrace them no matter what they are. Inhale. Exhale, Shavasana. Inhale gently. Exhale fully. Reawaken the body with small movements, maybe starting in your fingers and toes. Perhaps you rock your head side to side, open your mouth, wiggle your jaw, wrinkle your nose. And then you can reach the hands above the head, take a nice morning stretch. Maybe point the toes and stretch one direction and the other. And then you can draw both knees in towards the chest. Give yourself a little hug and a squeeze. Say, hey, thanks for showing up today. It's not always easy to do. And then you can roll over onto your favorite side, using your arm as a pillow in fetal pose. Just a gentle transition through and up into a seat, facing the sound of my voice, your eyes closed. Let's bring the hands either together at heart center, palms together, or two hands over the heart. And one last time, just observe the body. But this time, not just your physical body, also your energetic body, your thinking mind. How do you feel? No judgment, no expectations. Inhale. Exhale, you can bow your chin to seal your practice. Maybe even put a smile on your face. When you're ready, lift your head back up. Get reacquainted with the room around you as you open your eyes. Thank you all. Fantastic work. Happy Sunday, and I will see you next week for the Sunday Sweat Club. Have a great week.